Welcome to Unstoppable Agent. Welcome back. Hey, this is the show that real estate agents come to build their business, build their wealth, and build a life of impact and significance.
There's not often that time to reset, close down what you did, maybe evaluate and reflect. I said that word reflect, and I think that's really important right now. I think we all need to have built-in reflective time so that you can be aware of what you've accomplished, celebrate that, let go things that didn't work for you.
I'm excited to be here. I hope you are too. I'm Brian White. I'm a local realtor and associate broker with eXp Realty in North Texas. And you know what? I get to interview some amazing people on the show. I get to interview some of the top agents across the country. And I'm excited today because a lot of times I interview people maybe that I've never met before. And this one's been a friend for years. Jill Leberknight, I am so excited to have you here.
Oh my goodness, this just feels like a reunion time. So we'll share our fellowship time, our agent fellowship time with others today as we talk about all the things that you and I enjoy geeking out on and being passionate about.
Yeah, it's fun because you're actually one of the first people, really maybe the second person I met at eXp just over 5 years ago. So that's pretty cool. We go back.
Yeah, there's some history. I feel blessed. When you lean into collaboration, when you choose to collaborate with other agents, which I know we have a rich culture of in Texas, really wonderful things can grow from that.
Yeah, I love it. That's awesome. So I want to get into you and I want to talk about you. But first, when people watch, I like to start off with something that really is going to help them, something they can implement. If we're thinking about the market and we're kind of wrapping up winter and heading into spring, at least we'd like to wrap up winter, heading into spring, what should new agents, what are three things that new agents should do in the market right now?
Okay, you ready? Here are my 3 tips. One, I always think every year, I worked with a great coach a client colleague of our friend Elizabeth Riley, Kim Caldwell. She's a local business and entrepreneurial coach, and she has this great exercise, this story exercise that allows you to close your previous year and envision where you want to go with your next year. So I think every year, any individual, whether you're a business person or not, you should always take the time to really reflect back on your previous year, all of your events. List them out. I've got an Excel spreadsheet. I go month by month, listing out all the things that I did. And then I take time to ask myself, what did all those activities mean to me?
Good.
And then what are the ahas from that? And then I write my story from my previous year. This has become a life-changing business exercise for me every year. So I think that's just a tried and true, whether it's this market or any market, whether it's personal or professional. Take some time to look back at your year, because what that exercise does, it allows you to release the past year. If it was a good year, great. Celebrate it. Frame your story of your last year and put it on the wall, or archive it. Or maybe it was not so great of a year and you want to burn it up in a ceremony of, I gotta let that one go. Whatever you feel inspired to do, it allows you to begin your new year from a fresh place. When I was taught this exercise, Brian, you might be surprised to know, I didn't realize how much I was carrying weight of previous years. I think as realtors, we get going and we get to December and we're just burnt out. And then before you know it, we got to be vision boarding and planning and goal setting for the next year. And there's not often that time to reset, close down what you did, maybe evaluate and reflect. I said that word reflect, and I think that's really important right now. I think we all need to have built-in reflective time so that you can be aware of what you've accomplished, celebrate that, let go things that didn't work for you, maybe acknowledge that you made it a quarter of the way or half the way towards a big goal that you don't want to let go of. So acknowledge that and use that as you plan forward. So that's the first thing I would encourage people to do right now is reflect.
I think that's brilliant. And I think so often as achievers, right, we'll set big goals and maybe we hit them, maybe we didn't, but we'll beat ourselves up for the thing we miss on. And then if you go back and recap, yes, you should look at, okay, what are your ahas? What did you learn? What would you do differently? But also it's important to go back and remember, hey, what were the wins? What were the things to celebrate? What were the maybe trips you took, or the great moments as a family or great moments as a business, whatever it is, and really celebrate those. So that's
absolutely. And on top of the things that I was already sharing, it also became this wonderful reminder through action of what were the things as a business owner, as an entrepreneur, that I was gravitating towards. what activities were constantly rising up to focus point in the stuff that I did, reminding myself, don't get caught up trying to be someone else or do something else. What are my actions showing me that I'm passionate about? What are my actions showing me that I should and want to be doing? And then on top of that, I don't know if this resonates with you, but I like to call myself a recovering perfectionist. I often don't take the time to celebrate the good things that I am doing with my family, with my own health, with my friends, with my community, within my business. I don't take time to celebrate those things because I'm already, but I didn't make it up here. So I need to take time to do that. So in that journey of reflecting, I think the next thing that I'm encouraging a lot of people to do right now, because we have the time, we haven't had a little bit of breathe room. I'll even take a moment right now and remind myself to breathe. I get excited when I'm creatively talking and collaborating with my friends. So I'll breathe. This is a great time in this market to stop and breathe and ask yourself, what do I want to be doing? What do my neighbors need? What do my clients need? Take time. I call it daydreaming, because I think we've lost the art of daydreaming, but carve out some time for yourself to just sit and allow your mind to wander about the needs that our community has right now in the shifting market, where you want to go as a business.
Good.
Take advantage of this breathe room that we have. And then the third thing, I always promote this and talk about this with new agents that I'm working with. Get back to being an active participant in our industry. Get back involved in your realtor association, or what we call our strategic partners. We have a variety of realtor organizations that are recognized by the National Association of Realtor, whether that's the LGBTQ+ Alliance, the Women Council Realtors, the Asian Real Estate Professionals. Like in Austin, we have the Austin Black Real Estate Professionals, NAREP, which is the National Association of Hispanic Realtors. Is there an organization that you might like to plug into, that you might gain some support from? Go get involved. So it could be strategic partner or fellow realtors or brokerage events. Our brokerage has the One EXP program, and I'm really proud of this because I'm now the past chair. Last year I chaired the diversity committee at the Austin Board of Realtors, and I have been deeply involved in leading the efforts at the Austin level, which the Austin Board of Realtors has been a real trailblazing diversity program in the nation. If EXP agents don't know this, we were one of the early adopters at our brokerage of DEI initiatives and inclusion initiatives that really provided a number of pathways for people to get connected. So if you are not connected this year, and we realtors, we can get really isolated, right? We can get lost in our little desks in our little world, and before we know it, we're spiraling down and melancholy, the blues, or whatever you want to call it. We are meant to be in collaboration and connection with each other, and we have so many outlets, pathways, and opportunities in our association and at our brokerage to connect. So that, I think, if you aren't connected, that would be the third thing, because through that connection, you're going to get some of the other things that I think are vital for realtors to have right now, which is information about the market, where are interest rates going, what are the new technologies or initiatives that are being discussed or are being encouraged within our market or shifting right now. So all of that is going to be an after effect or a trickle down effect of being connected. So those are my three. I hope that wasn't too chatty about them.
No, I think that's great. And so I remember when you were running for the board of realtors. So congratulations again, by the way. I didn't realize that you were chairing the diversity committee. So that's awesome. Thank you for doing that, for making your market better, for leading at a board that leads the country in many ways. So that's a big deal.
And I know we're all at the beginning of the year attending a lot of economic forecast events from experts that are helping us navigate and understand the shift that we're in. And I've attended some really great Austin Economic Outlook events from some of our amazing experts in our area. And I've been really surprised, even though I am deeply involved in the diversity issues in our Realtor Association, that is there are still so many efforts that need to be attained within our industry. Like, one of the stats that really surprised me, and I know you're up in the Dallas-Fort Worth area, I'm down here in Austin, but I was surprised to learn that Austin is lagging behind Houston and Dallas and San Antonio, our big metros in Texas, in terms of attracting people of color to its metro. I'm curious about that and what we can do to attract more people of color to our metros and to our state, be more welcoming. And I know EXP, we're doing a lot of neat stuff like with our One EXP efforts. But anyway, yeah, that's been
I think it's great. And I think we were created for community. And like you said, in a company, in a world that's increasingly virtual and increasingly we're meeting virtually, right? It's easy to get isolated. And what's fascinating, and some of what you're saying, is we have an opportunity to connect. We have lots of opportunities. We have an opportunity to connect at open houses and going and meeting others. We have an opportunity to connect with agents on the other side of our deals. We have an opportunity to build a relationship and not be adversarial, but help each other and build relationships. And if you're in the business, you're going to see an agent on the other side of a deal over and over again. Be kind, be helpful. Their client doesn't have to lose for your client to win. We can find a way for all of us to work together and have a lot of fun. By the way, we can have some great relationships and really enjoy our life and our business.
Absolutely. Yeah, and I tell people all the time when they ask me, how do you work and function in the virtual world at EXP? And I often talk about how, like right now, this is like a reunion part, I don't know, 245, because we are in conference level collaboration daily at EXP. So what we have, and certainly I think a lot of us became more aware through the pandemic that we had already gone through an evolution of deepening and broadening the ways in which we are in fellowship with each other. And so, yeah, we would much prefer to be in a room, breaking bread, having that energy between two people. But this is just a tool for us to maintain that. Just like in other social media, has been a tool for people to stay connected, to stay top of mind and in touch. So I feel more connected than ever, which is wonderful.
100%. So that was a really awesome way to kick off. I want to get back to you and tell us your story. How did you it's a great story. How did you get started in business? And you're all the way up to being on the board of Realtors. I mean, that's a big deal. You're a big deal. So thanks for giving me a few minutes.
Oh, wow. I'm looking at one of my clients gave me a cute little sign that's on my desk, my shelf over here that says I'm a big deal. I don't feel that way. I feel called to serve my community, but I think highlights of my story was that I'm an actor. I'm a high school actor, wanted to be on Broadway more than anything gal, that discovered how much my deep love of teaching that led me to become a high school drama and dance teacher. Taught at Ivy League boarding school on the East Coast, and then I came down to Texas to get my advanced acting degree, my fine art acting degree, my Master of Fine Arts. And I came down to attend the University of Texas at Austin and just thought I was going to devote my life to educating the artists of tomorrow and helped start a theater academy in Austin. And then, as life sometimes happens and finances don't always fall out the way you imagine or hope they do, I was a part of a group of teachers. The arts are often the first to go when budgets need to be balanced. I was in this wonderful state and city of Austin when budgets were tightened and jobs were eliminated. And I was working on a TV show, a children's educational TV show called The Biscuit Brothers. Willie Nelson was our narrator. And so roots were established here in Austin, and I didn't want to leave. I did the odd job hopping around and exploring what I wanted to be after high school teacher. My husband said, you know what? He saw an ad in the paper for Century 21 First Place Realty. They had an education program. He said, you know what? I think you'd be a really good realtor. I was like, that's weird. At the time, I was like, all I had, as many of us do, is that very loose framework of realtor, the gold blazer wearing, make a lot of money realtor. And I'm like, sure, that sounds lovely and dramatic and fun, and I'll try that. And I got my license in 5 weeks over Christmas break in 2004. And the rest is history. Did you get a gold blazer? I did not. I did not join the gold blazer group. I joined the red blazer group.
Okay. about
And
that. I didn't know about a gold blazer in your past. So I want to make sure
yeah,
I didn't.
no, I didn't. But it was where I did the classes. But I quickly realized that real estate had all the pieces of the job puzzle that I really daydreamed and desired. It had the creative, in the theater world. I'll put this in theater terms. I love being on the stage, but I gotta admit, I love being a stage manager. I love stage management. I love directing. I like front of house, back of house, supporting the actors, supporting the student teaching. I like all the hats. And for me, real estate felt like I was able to wear all the hats in one job. I didn't have to pick. But first and foremost, I discovered how much education was in being a realtor and how we serve our clients. And that's really the heart of how I built my successful business in real estate. I'm grateful that I had the instinct, or it really was instinct. I didn't connect with the door knocking, cold calling culture, but I knew I could teach. I knew I wasn't afraid to speak in front of an audience. And so I just started teaching in my community and serving my community. And I didn't always know all the answers, but I spent a lot of time studying, becoming competent and learning more and watching others and reading material and building my skill set and observing and analyzing my market and analyzing the job that we do and analyzing our Texas property protest process, which has become an expert in the Austin market in providing property protest counsel and education.
I'm glad you said that about the education piece, because I think so often, whether it's the consumer or just bad agents that get their license and then stop. It's like that box is checked and they don't realize that. But number one, whatever we do, whether you're a realtor or a doctor or a lawyer or just in a sales gig or an accountant or whatever, right? You should be a lifelong learner. Right? We should learn our craft and get better and just continue to grow.
Brian, do you think, and I know you and I meet a lot of great realtors out and about, do you think an unspoken or an not talked about ingredient to a successful realtor is that they truly have a love of being a lifelong learner? Do you think that's an embedded part of what makes us successful?
Yeah, I think the good ones are always trying to get better and always trying to grow. And how could I serve better? Because it's most of our clients' largest financial investment, and there's contractual stuff, there's financial stuff, there's community and governmental, there's all sorts of things that we got to know. And there's real opportunity. Unfortunately, not everybody does that.
Yeah.
And you can really tell the difference when you're working with somebody on the other side that does and somebody who does not.
Absolutely. And I was just at the Inman conference in New York City a couple of weeks ago, and Brad Inman, he was giving a lot of wonderful inspirational quotes at the beginning, and I'm paraphrasing what he said, but he was like, for an industry that has a commission structure where you have to motivate yourself to get up every day and find a way to make a living and keep a roof over your head. We're an industry that really needs a lot of motivational, inspirational support. And I thought that was well said.
It's one of the few jobs in the country where as soon as we close a deal, we are unemployed. So we have to go literally, and depending on if it's a big deal, that can be okay. And if it's not, then it can be like, gotta go. But so we have to seek motivation, and we also have to seek alternative other forms of income that are maybe passive, more repetitive, just to help with that too. So there are ways to solve that problem.
Yeah, and I've been curious and analyzed this over the years, the differences between hard sell and soft sell tactics. I'm predominantly a soft sell realtor. My marketing and my efforts in client cultivation or lead generation typically fall in the soft sell approach. And when I teach about my tribe marketing and soft sell approach, while it takes longer to establish the roots on the soft sell pathway, it has deeper roots. So even when big shifts like we're undergoing right now, you say unemployed, 100%, I hear you and agree with you. But those of us who, and I know you're more of a soft sell approach business as well, those of us who are referral based and community service oriented, that always provides us with a little bit of a safety net
Yep.
in shifting markets like this, where the hard sell tactics, the gas always has to be pedal, what do they say, pedal the metal?
Yeah, that's right. Well, and there's also an aspect of, and I learned this in my corporate sales career, where you have to make no an option, where it's you're not. Hey, if you don't want to buy this house, great, it's fine. There's another one. Never trying to talk anybody into anything. It's just, and as soon as suddenly, whether it's a takeaway close or whether it's just being consultative and trying to serve them, by making no an option, suddenly they're a lot more comfortable, and then you actually increase your chances of doing business rather than trying to manipulate them into a
I'm
quote.
glad you brought that up, because I often, when I'm talking with new agents and they ask me about, when did you see a shift in your success journey? And for me, it was when two things. One, when I got over the shame that I had about being a realtor. I was a high school teacher. There's a lot of pride in that. Oh, I'm making the world a better place. You don't get paid well as a teacher, and that breaks my heart that we still haven't solved that problem. But I didn't feel a lot of real pride if I was at a gathering or a party and you're making conversation with people and someone said, "What do you do?" "I'm a realtor." The day that I started like having pride and saying the phrase, I'm a realtor. I love my job. I love what I do. I love serving my clients, and focusing on the love that I had, that made a huge difference in my business. And I literally saw growth just from that energy shift.
Yeah.
And the other one was when I started saying, "Hey, I'm here for you. I'm going to support whatever decision you make. Trust your instincts. If this doesn't work." Once they felt my energy of like, it's okay if we walk away from this deal. And the reality was that I wasn't quite able to get to that level until I had some closings and I had some financial safety net. And I feel like clients can really feel that when you
That is
have
the thing.
some security.
People talk about there's this idea of commission breath, and if you need the commission, they can feel the pressure of you trying to put them into that. And look, if you're new and you're watching this, I get it, right? You have to pay the bills. That's a reality. The thing we would tell you is to, number one, be frugal as you're building your business. Number two, there is an aspect of hustle that you just have to do for a certain period of time to build it up. Now, it may be a hustle in being a realtor, it may be a hustle in your two other jobs, it may be a hustle in whatever else as you transition. But as soon as you can, you'll see the fruits of being consultative rather than having commission breath, and people can tell the difference.
Absolutely. And the greatest return on investment that a realtor will ever have is investment into counseling their client, pouring their education, their expertise, their time, their support into serving their client. Because that client, what do they say? Every client eventually, like if you stay connected with them, will bring you, that will, hopefully you'll work towards retaining them as a repeat customer, but should be able to provide you with 5 to 7 leads in their lifetime. So it's an investment in time. If you're spending potentially, like in this market, buyers are really scared. They have every right to be. There's a lot of mixed and confusing narratives out there that I think we as an industry could get better at helping them at the local level, like honing in on what does that mean in Dallas or Grapevine or Austin or Georgetown. Yeah. What does that mean? But guiding them through that is one of the greatest parts of the work that we do. And we're bound to it in our code of ethics.
And it's the most valuable thing we do professionally and as a service, because it's that knowledge that makes all the difference. Jill, you are awesome. No surprise. As we wrap up today, any parting thoughts, anything you'd like to leave the audience with?
Just that I have a renewed sense in this market, because I've set a goal in getting more involved and showing up and connecting more with my fellow realtors. I'm seeing a beautiful revitalization of the work that we do. And I think that we are embarking on a truly exciting era of our profession. There's neat tech beyond the technology. Yeah. I think there's some really neat stuff going on. And I just launched the Austin Holistic Real Estate Group, and I am expanding these sort of consultative, nurturing, supportive client approach systems to agents outside of Austin city limits and beyond. And I'm just having a grand time celebrating and living with the grace of the beauty that is our profession. That can be if you lean into it.
That's awesome. If you'd like to know more about Jill, about Austin Holistic, what was it again?
Austin Holistic Real Estate Group with EXP Realty.
Yes, if you'd like to learn more about that or Jill, or maybe you live in Austin and you need somebody amazing to work with. So we'll make sure we include Jill's socials in the description so you can find her. And Jill, it's always a pleasure. Thank you.
Have a great one.